అప్పుడులో మన దగ్గర క్లైమర్ మ్యాన్ ఒకటి బ్లాస్ట్ ఉంది అలిపిరి దగ్గర. క్లైమర్ మ్యాన్.
యా.
ఇంగోలో కూడా క్లైమర్ మ్యాన్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఓన్లీ ల్యాండ్ మైనర్స్ అండి.
ఐఎమ్ సారీ, ప్లీజ్ కమ్ అగైన్, ఐ డెంట్ గెట్ ఇట్.
అలిపిరి దగ్గర క్లైమర్ మ్యాన్.
క్లైంబర్
మ్యాన్స్. చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు
క్లైమోర్. యా,
క్లైమర్ మ్యాన్.
యా యా
యా. అక్కడ ఇంగోలో కూడా క్లైమర్ మ్యాన్ ఉందా లేదా ఓన్లీ ల్యాండ్ మైనర్స్?
ఇన్ Angola had greater variety of mines than what we had seen in Andhra Pradesh. At that point of time, they had claymore mines, they had directional mines, they had IEDs, because it was a military war going on. So obviously, armies are better equipped in terms of arms, ammunition, and other types of weaponry and stores than compared to police forces, security forces, as well as the Naxalites. So, in terms of the numbers of mines, in terms of the variety of mines, including claymore mines, Angola was a lot more dangerous, and that is why I told you that large number of men had lost their limbs. A very large number of them got killed also in mines when they got caught directly, but I found that because those who are dead, you couldn't see them. They have been there in the graves. But we used to find in Luanda itself and many places, a lot of people without legs. Their legs had been.
Sir, after Lingo?
After Angola, I came back and I was posted as a traffic police chief. Those days, the traffic police chief was of DCP rank, which later on got upgraded to joint CP, and now it is additional CP. So I was traffic police chief in 96, and that was again rather eventful in the sense that Mr. PV Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of this country, and he visited this state more than 10 times in a period of 1 year. So every month we had to have a massive bandobast arrangements for the Prime Minister, which was really it's a very difficult job, and that was a time when LTT in Sri Lanka was very active. We had large number of instances. We already had the instance earlier of our Prime Minister, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, being killed, in Tamil Nadu. And around that time when I was the traffic police chief, this is of course 96, so in between 90 to 95, there were several instances of assassinations in Sri Lanka by human bombs. We had their defense minister, if I recollect his name correctly, Ranjan Vijay Ratne or somebody. He was traveling in his convoy, and 2-3 bombers, human bombers, came on motorcycles and they just rammed their motorcycles in his convoy, killing everybody. We had the instance of their Prime Minister Prem Dasa being killed. He in an election campaign, he was moving on the road, and though the security guys had kept a sanitized zone of about 20 meters around him, they stopped a cyclist on whom they had suspicion, and immediately he blew himself and everybody got killed. So there was a naval chief, so there would have been at least 4 or 5 instances wherein in Sri Lanka, human bombers who had killed VIPs, politicians, senior defense generals on the roads. So to me, the biggest apprehension used to be that when the Prime Minister's convoy is moving, we have to sanitize the roads. And roads is the responsibility of the traffic police. And there will be so many lanes and by lanes, so though we would have the barricade and there may be 2 constables protecting it, because you can't be present, after all you have limited forces. But then if there is a determined attack, if there are large number of fellows and if they come, it becomes difficult. So that used to be a huge challenge, ensuring, number 1, the safety and security of the Prime Minister of India. And number 2 was that once his convoy has passed, to carry out clearance of the traffic which has accumulated as quickly as possible, so that people are not put to greater inconvenience. So that was again very challenging, and I find that traffic policing is a very, very difficult job. It is something that it is not understood. We feel that those who are in greyhounds and octopus, they are performing a very risky job and therefore they get 50%. I have worked in greyhounds for a long period. I have been XP of Naxal affected areas. Let me tell you that the risk element is definitely there, because you get involved in exchanges of fire and all that. But when you come to day-to-day risk, the pressure of job, the dangers to his health. There is no other job in policing which is more difficult than that of a traffic policeman.
Yes, correct.
And this I learnt when I was traffic police chief. Today, if you stand on a junction and you are there for just 10 minutes, you will find you have inhaled so much of dust and smoke and soot. That is one thing. There are large number of vehicles which are blaring their horns, which is impacting your ears. You have to be there standing continuously, because if a traffic cop vacates his position for even 2 minutes on Indian roads, there is chaos. Unlike, I was in USA and Australia also for 2 years each. Unlike those countries where you don't find a traffic cop, everything is regulated by signals. That signals, they regulate the traffic. People are law abiding. Depending on the signal, green or red, they will accordingly act. They will respond. But in India, even if you have traffic signal but you do not have a constable, there is chaos. It speaks very poorly of us as civic people who are civic conscience and who have law abiding. Therefore, even on a traffic junction, if you do not have a constable, it becomes very difficult. This guy had to be standing continuously, without water, without anything, for 6 to 8 hours, and all throughout he is inhaling noxious fumes and dust and smoke, etc. So that is why that was the first time we started two things. We tied up with AP Chest Hospital in Eragadda, and we started a system of 6 monthly thorough medical checkup of the constabulary, of the traffic constabulary. That was one thing, so that in case there is some deterioration, something, we can request the Commissioner of Police to shift him to law and order or any other duty. That was one thing. We got it entire thing formatized in consultation with the doctors. X-rays has to be taken, his hemoglobin level has to be checked, his PFT, pulmonary function test, has to go formed. So whatever tests were required to see his health condition were incorporated in a detailed thing. Medical sheets were opened for every traffic cop. That was one thing I started. The second thing which I started was that we gave them, we started the practice of giving them this water and lemon water and a little bit of jaggery and some other thing as part of a packet during the summers. So every 1 hour vehicle will go around and will hand over to a traffic constable water, lemon water, and some sort of jaggery, so that he is able to rehydrate his body and also energize himself with something like jaggery or bellam, which is So I found my traffic police experience to be extremely satisfying professionally. Lot of changes we could bring about. We had interface with the REC Warangal, which has a traffic and transportation department. We got in touch with Central Road Research Institute. We conducted out certain projects over here. Time and motion studies were conducted to know you have an assessment of the number of vehicles, the carriage on the number of vehicles which pass on the roads. We also had a bit of an issue wherein a PIL was put in High Court, and we filed a reply. Mr. Prabha Shankar, Mr. Honorable Justice was there, and when we brought all the facts to the notice of his lordship, he was also very surprised, and he gave, after a series of hearings, he gave very detailed and very comprehensive instructions. One direction of the Honorable High Court of Andhra Pradesh was that whatever money is collected by the traffic police through fines and challan amount, that should be put up at the disposal of the traffic police for improving the traffic infrastructure. Okay. That was a landmark judgment. Second direction that he gave was that the traffic police chief should be part of the committee, which is headed by the then MCH and now JHMC commissioner, which looks into giving clearances for commercial and residential projects. And environmental impact analysis, traffic impact analysis should be done before permissions are given for commercial and residential complexes. So these were some of the directions of the Honorable High Court which they gave in pursuance of the detailed replies we filed, giving comparison of the traffic situation, the manpower, the equipment, the resources available with the different metropolitan cities in India like Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai and Mangalore. These 40 cities I have taken the comparative thing, and it was a very, very positive development. And the government of Andhra Pradesh at that time implemented them to some extent.
For more videos, subscribe to iDream. and loads of fun entertainment and content, do watch iDreams.
Do subscribe iDream Media.
దయచేసి iDreams మీరు సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయాల్సిందిగా నేను కోరుతున్నాను.
I am Dr. Nayak, DT Nayak. For more videos, please subscribe to iDream.
Please subscribe iDream News.
Please subscribe iDream.
Please subscribe iDreams.
మీరు చూస్తున్నారు iDream న్యూస్.